Well, we come to our final talk in this topic, and to moderate the next talk, I'm delighted to introduce Katja Mankinen. Katja completed her PhD in 2020 at Lund University in Sweden, working on the Atlas experiment. She's now a data scientist at the CSC IT Centre for Science in Finland, where she's focusing on helping national organizations make the most of the potential of big data and advanced analytics. Hello, Katja.
Hello. It is my pleasure to introduce the next speaker, who is Charlotte Waltregny, who works as a data scientist at Procter Gamble. Charlotte completed her master's in particle physics in Geneva, and during that time, she worked for the Atlas collaboration and gained a passion for data science. She then worked as an international consultant in big data and did a postgraduate in applied artificial intelligence at the University of Brussels. So we will now have 20 minutes presentation and then 10 minutes for Q&A. So please post your questions to the chat. And now, please, Charlotte, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be with you today. Thank you, Kasia, for the introduction. Very difficult to go after such an interesting talk, but I'll do my best to keep you interested. So my talk today will be a brief history of a high-energy physicist from aeronautics to consumer goods. After that, I realized two things. There is a G missing in high-energy physics, but that's okay. And it was quite kind of arrogant to take back Stephen Hawking bestseller on the origin, structure, development, and eventual fate of our universe to talk about my professional small experience. But it was actually meant as a tribute because it's the book that I read, and afterwards I went on to study physics. So what are we going to talk about today? Why are you here? So I really wanted to go back to the original, to the original purpose of this event. How do skills developed at CERN can contribute in the society? And I'm going to bring you through my journey with my little backpack of knowledge that I acquired at CERN and how I went through to use it in my journey. I will try to go very quickly because I really want to leave time for any questions because I think it's the most interesting part of the talk. So it started in 2016 when I started my master in particle physics at the University of Geneva. During that time, I had the opportunity to work in the Atlas collaboration from the university in the CERN facilities with people that you might know in the Atlas collaboration. Professor Giuseppe Jacobucci, Dr. Steven Schramm, Dr. Roland Jensky, and we were together trying to answer the question, how could we improve dye boson tagging efficiency? And here we were combining data coming from, I was learning on my side a lot, from the tracker, the calorimeter, to apply certain cuts on just substructure variables in order to distinguish between QCD and actual signal. And there, I learned the basis of what I would need in my future jobs, not only Python and C++ skills, but also and mainly attention to analysis end-to-end, from data ingestion to quality assurance, explorative analysis, modeling, up until to sharing results. Also the curiosity of understanding and coming up with new solutions to figure out the problem and how a big data collection system worked and how we could use it to provide insight. So here I was with a little backpack of these skills and ready, super motivated to go to the next chapter. But I didn't know what was it. So I had two PhD opportunities that was the obvious choice, but at the time I was 22 and I was super interested in the buzzword, machine learning, data science, and I really wanted to apply it in the industry because I had no idea what it would look like. So it's how I ended up at AKKA Technologies, which is a consultant company in engineering. providing solution and consultants to companies like Airbus. And that's where I worked for a year and a half at Airbus. And here I was asked different problems. One of the questions was, how can we track business impact of defects on airplane pieces? And actually with my backpack of skills acquired at CERN, it was quite an easy question in the end. I mean, it became easier thanks to these skills, because they had basically a big data platform where you had the end-to-end process in place. You could ingest data, transform them, apply analysis up until the reporting of it. You had a PySpark environment integrated in it. You could basically run as you were running on your computer, but with much more computing power. So I had my machine learning use case. I was very happy with it. And I could, up until the reporting of it to the business partners. That's where I had my first business presentation, actually. And then as we move on, we have other type of problem. How can we plan tests on airplanes and make sure that we have all the necessary components to do so? It's a very, very complex problem to actually test stuff on airplanes, just because you have the simulation and then you have the actual airplane. So you need to make sure that you have the right pilots, the right configuration, the right plane. And this is a very well-known problem in industry. It's called the optimization, basically, a schedule optimization. So you have an algorithm, you put the different constraints. We need this plane, we need this pilot, we need this. You put the different constraints, and it creates a schedule for you. But it cannot live in isolation. So you have to contribute to it, but also you have to make sure that the business people that are making the decision are being able to use it. And you need a broad, large, different skills there. So you're working in a very big team of at least 30 people and in an agile environment. Otherwise, it's very difficult to combine everything. I was tagged as a product owner. I was working with UX designers, software developers, pilots, other business coordinators to basically transform the business needs into software development by coordinating the project. So I learned so many things on business collaboration. But again, I was learning a lot on business processes, on the project coordination, as I said, but I was less and less a data scientist and more a digital transformation consultant. I will so much to get challenge on the technical side. I really wanted to do cool AI stuff. To resonate a bit with the chart on the right, I'm sure you saw it. It was very popular on LinkedIn for a while, but I really like it. I didn't really like what I was doing, and it was causing me my mental health. And so when you see it makes up a big portion of the pie chart. And so I decided to move on to do cool AI stuff. And that's where I went back to school. I mean, kind of. I was more of a freelance, but at the same time continuing to learn. And I pursued a postgraduate at the Artificial Intelligence Group of the University of Brussels. And there I had the opportunity to do an internship in a company that is called Eurosense, that is basically taking pictures, high resolution picture of the ground. And here it was, the question type was, how can we automatically create shapefiles of building footprints to solve land use problems? And you automatically recognize it. It's a computer vision problem. It's awesome. You explore all the different types of models that you try to understand how to fine-tune it, how the different parameters, how the data cleaning part comes into play. And I had my deep learning use case, and I was very happy with it. And now I wanted to use this knowledge and have a direct impact on people. And that's where I joined the consumer goods part on Procter Gamble. So Procter Gamble is a consumer goods company serving billions of consumers around the world with brands like Gillette, Braun, Oral-B, Pampers, aerial plenty of different brands that I'm sure you have at home. And what's the best time to join a consumer goods company than during a pandemic? So there are different types of questions again. How to reach the right person at the right time, at the right cost, with the right frequency. How to prioritize OLB sales representatives visit to dentists. It's such different problems types, but they are very complex. And here the passion was around you could build your own stuff on a Jupyter notebook trying to figure out a solution to a problem, but then you go to the entire process of building a data science platform end to end so that it can be leveraged by the markets to have an impact. And so that's what I'm doing. And yes, and basically you build something that you can manage centrally, and that every time a change is required, you just have to change a bit the code, push it on GitHub, triggers the immediate deployment of a container that is automatically picked up of the platform, and to me that was magic, basically. How can CERN alumni, why the CERN alumni are so important for the industry and are so valuable in the eyes of the industry? For data science in Procter Gamble, I'm working with 10 high-energy physicists from here. And they're so valuable because we have the technical mastery in the eyes of the industry. We understand how distributed analytics work. We have a measurement-oriented approach, rigorous thinking, fresh perspective. But what I really valued on the P&G side is that they hire you for a job based on your interest and not the other way round, which it brings up the passion. So different machine learning use cases in P&G, from research and development to logistics and shipment to marketing, plants, retailer engagement, and IT. In Geneva, it's the European headquarters. It's mainly focused on retail and marketing. So the data science mission at P&G, and it was much more also driven, and it has had more impact during the pandemic. The data-driven decisions had much more impact during the pandemic, and data science mission was also to measure the impact of it through predictive and descriptive models, optimization, A/B testing. I mean, seriously, I could dedicate an entire hour just to talk about all the use cases we have in Procter & Gamble and how we use data to solve them. But I would take ages. So if you want to know more, just reach out to us. Either my email address or Michele Flores, which is my direct colleague and worked for 16 years in Alice, and is now, so he will be able to provide a more senior point of view on his work. So the main challenges I faced going from high energy physics to industry was the data science maturity in companies. So when you're a data scientist, you're out of CERN and you're so motivated to do really, really, really cool AI stuff. You think you're going to join a company that is at stage 5 of its data science transformation. But it's not always the case. Many of them are just at the beginning of it and want people to help out. So you cannot always use your skills on direct data. You have to collect them, you have to store them. Or they're in the middle of it, they want guidance, they don't really know. So this is what I found the main challenge, not to know. Arriving in a company and having no idea if they had proper database in place. And the second is that data science is a new job in the eyes of the industry. It's very difficult to find coaches and mentors and people that can actually help you to develop your skills. And when you do, it's very, very valuable. So, to wrap up a bit, what I really wanted to emphasize is the dotted line along my talk, is that certain skills helped me on every aspect of the journey, from my experience at AKKA Technologies to Eurosense up until P&G. And my last word, and what I really want to bring as a message, is that, and to resonate a bit with the previous presentation, is that to me, cleaning up oceans and helping in the cure to cancer is really the accomplishment of data science. Like it's something we aim for, and that it would be the dream to accomplish as a community, and that's why amazing people like my previous speaker are creating this community. That's what we should aim for. But it's not the only route as well. So you can have a positive impact on your own journey as well. Use your skills for good. Use your network to empower minorities. And my last sentence would be, as CERN alumni, we all have the opportunity to bring positive impact on society. So just if you decide to join the industry, and you can do both, actually. You can join a super great community of people that are contributing to much more advanced problems, and having a job on your side. I think I'm definitely going to join the AI crowd team. But just make sure that if you go to the industry, join like-minded company that put people before cash, because they're touching billions of people. And even if you improve 10% of how it's currently run, it has a huge impact. So just make sure that these companies are aligned with your values. And I would say thank you. So thank you for listening to me. Thank you for the amazing CERN alumni team to bring amazing speakers that are so inspirational. And thank you for inviting me as well. It's really been a pleasure. So I'm open for any questions now.
Many, many thanks for that incredible and inspiring talk, Charlotte. So maybe I can start with an easy question. So I'm sure that the audience is filled with people who are interested in maybe switching their career to data science. And you already gave some advice, but could you give some practical advice to those people who are maybe thinking to switch the career towards data science?
Learn Python. That would be the easiest one, let's say. It's the skills that is the most valuable. But just be curious, talk to people. And my last point was because I had a lot of trouble with it. I was like, I'm not gonna join the industry. I want to have I want to go on startup. I want to clean. That was my own experience. I really wanted to go in that direction, and then I understood how we could actually bring positive impact on society. When I said use your skills for good, it can be as simple as making sure that you're protecting the data privacy of consumer. Or that you just refuse to work on specific problems just because they're not aligned with your values. When I say use your network to empower minorities, it can be as simple as creating an event to promote jobs for IT jobs for women that are not always the biggest representation of the people working there, or just making sure that everything you do every day is to make sure that we all get equal chances as job opportunities. So, when you join the industry, you have a direct impact, like straight. So just make sure that every little things are contributing to the world in a positive way. The practical and the easiest skill to actually enter the industry is to learn Python and to be curious. They will never expect you to know everything from Google Cloud to so I mean, as long as you're curious, you can learn everything, and just show your passion.
Thank you. There was a really interesting question from the audience, namely, is it easy or trivial to put people before cash?
Actually, no. It's really not easy, and many companies advertise this, and they're not doing it. So it's as a data scientist, yes, it's very easy because you can have a direct decision and say yes or no. But from the business execution part, it's very difficult. They're in a shark environment, and that's what they want to drive. So but still, you have many companies, and P&G is one of them, that really mean it when they say put people before cash, and they showed thousands of examples during the pandemic, preserving the well-beings of their employers before just focusing on the cash. So the pandemic was a really good moment to assess how meaningful the companies protected their people and moved forward. And I feel you could really see it in the way they were managing. And yeah, there are many times that you hear stuff that it doesn't. I mean, even if it brings, we all know that putting cash before people only brings short-term benefits. So when you have very big industries, they usually, they see long-term, and it doesn't matter. I mean, it's completely balanced afterwards.
Thank you. There was also other really interesting question. What was the most valuable skill you developed at CERN for your current position?
The most valuable one was, there was C++, coding skills. This is very easy to say because I used it everywhere, but it's mainly the end-to-end part. I mean, at CERN, it was like, I'm going to give you a problem. These are the data, here's how you can access it, and I took actually a week to connect to the Atlas to the Atlas system, and I never used a terminal before. I mean, to me that was and this is very valued because that's everything you do is with it, but it's mainly the end-to-end analysis part. So from data ingestion, so looking at the data, making sure that they're of quality, that you can actually use them to develop, and then explorative analysis. I see data. What is it? I don't understand any of it. It's super abstract. I mean, to me, it was just the leaves, and I just didn't understand any of it. But still, how it's just exploring it and then modeling it. And I feel that 80% of that you spend your time on is actually trying to understand how to come up with something, and that's linked to the curiosity part as well. Up until the sharing of the results. If you develop something awesome but nobody knows about it, it's a bit useless, and it's very difficult. I thought I had good communication skills until I joined the industry, actually, because I realized the gap between what I was saying and what was perceived. So learned a lot as well on this side, but still the basis was here. So I would say the end-to-end analysis part and the coding skills were the most important one, and the passion. The passion about what you're doing is, I've been passionate about CERN for ages, up until I was my grandfather used to tell me about this elite tunnel sitting in Switzerland that would create Big Bang. That was it. I was in love. So no, the passion is also the most important part.
Definitely. Now, speaking about passion, maybe you can, now we have some minutes left, so maybe you can tell about some of the most interesting use cases that you have done at P&G.
Yes. That's yes. That's a good one. I can provide many different examples. So the most passionate one would be how to reach consumer at the right moment, at the right frequency, at the right time is a very complex problem. I mean, this advertisement part has become a kind of toxic environment. You might you might judge from. I mean, that's what I judged before entering P&G, and here the idea is okay. No one wants to bombard you with thousands of images to make sure you buy something. I mean, it's a very old model. It's a deprecated model. So how to combine all of these data that, I mean, as you use Facebook, Instagram, as you interact with Google or Amazon, how to make sure that they're coherent and that it's not attaining your privacy. So this is a super interesting use case that I had. I'm trying to think about other. So I joined a team working on many different projects, and it's also about P&G has a lot of impact in terms of the environment as well. And so they have a target of being carbon neutral by 2040. So to do that, you have to get a lot of creativity. So reducing water in plants and making sure that, okay, you can do that for one plant, but how do you do it for across the world? And these are, I mean, it's super, super interesting. And how you can, you're basically a startup within a big company, you know? So you have access and they listen to you and you can really have an impact. And it's what I find really, the most passionate about. I'm the most passionate about is the fact that you have a direct impact, a real one. I mean, if you optimize, if you save 10% of water in a plant, and you scale it across the millions that there is around the world, then you have a real impact. And it's a direct one, and it's a short one. It's not, oh, in 10 years, it's really like you can act on it straight, and you can see the benefits of it. So that's what I'm the most passionate about.
Thank you. That indeed sounds really interesting and exciting. Maybe because now we have been talking about this passion, maybe can you describe briefly how your actual day-to-day work is? Like, do you just code or do you attend to meetings? And is it really stressful? Because as a particle physicist, we always have deadlines for next conferences and so on. So how is it at P&G?
It's not that different as it was at CERN, actually. It's you code, you stuck on a problem, you come to your team to find solutions. So you make presentations, you show up charts, and you say, okay, there is a problem here. How can you help me? Then you attend business also meetings. You try to align of. You might have developed an awesome algorithm that cannot fit the organization because it was not made to use it in the first place. So how do you understand the pain points of people, like the people that are working in the markets? Like, how do you make sure you understand the problems correctly? How do you make sure that you So you have basically, to answer your question, just meetings with them where you ask questions, where they give you feedbacks, and then the thrilling part is when you activate an algorithm and you have people in the market screaming at you. No, I'm joking. It's just this part when you activate stuff is super thrilling. So everyone is tense, but it's again, it's still meetings, codings, and before there was you could travel there, so it was much more human. But I would say really the same, maybe more meetings because you need to help the people that are in the market, so you need to listen to them a lot. And but apart from that, yes, Jupyter Notebook, Google Cloud. I mean, it's still what I was doing at CERN.
So it's perfect as well. All right. Thank you very, very much, Charlotte. It was a pleasure to hear about your experiences and have you here at this event.
Thank you. Thank you, Kesha. Have a good day.